Again for the third session because I've been disturbed by news agencies online who are tapping in the background to get a live to get these lives out on international media. I rather less and less. Please share the live widely because too many individuals are still sending friend requests. So if you could ask persons, because I cannot follow the live comments. It's best if you could help me here so that others would stop sending friend requests or using WhatsApp in the background trying to disturb the live. You're disturbing the live, and I think that is not to the benefit of the public. Anyway, this is the third session. I am going to follow this a little bit because of the different nature of this eruption. There is almost there's a heavy amount of material coming out of the crater. As someone said earlier, maybe from the depths of the crater, which is resulting in a very, very low altitude explosive eruption. Depositing most of the material on the southwestern side into the Caribbean Sea. I think Richmond would have a substantial amount of this by this afternoon. And like I said, the marine, the water has changed its color. It's quite dark around the darkish gray around the Richmond area. And further south to just off the coast of Chateaubriand, you could see that the water has turned a little bit greenish. I don't know why that is so. If it's as a result of certain material being pumped into the sea or not, but that's what I'm observing. But the eruption is heavy. It's thunderous, but it's a low altitude. And most of the material is falling out on the southwestern slopes and moving into the Caribbean Sea. I could see that the clouds as they emerge and whatever manages to rise up to a certain altitude, at this point quite a bit is rising again, so it indicates that there's some power behind it. And when they get up to a certain altitude, they turn white, which is indicating to me that a lot of the material that is being pumped out is already deposited. And that is in a way good news for us in the orange zone and for those further south. I don't think that there's going to be a wide dispersal of ash from these eruptions, these recent eruptions, especially this one this morning into the afternoon. It's now well over an hour in progress, and it shows no sign of slowing down. It's still pushing, and the southwestern side is almost covered in the material, and you could see it as it moves across to the Caribbean Sea here. You could see the ash falling out into the sea. It becomes thin, and the ash is falling out into the sea. The Soufriere area itself looks very, very gray, but you could see heavy deposits of ash. There's almost a valley on the southwestern, more on the northern area of the crater itself. You could see a valley there. It's all ash. It's all ash. From where it was this morning, I couldn't tell you whether there was any visible flow along the mountainside, but where I'm at the moment, I could see the whole mountain, and there is no visible. I'm not saying it's not there, but there's no visible sign of any flow along the edge. But that we would have to find out later, because the roaring song earlier made me sort of think maybe something is happening in that respect. And the clouds itself is moving in behind what the volcano is pushing out. There's white clouds moving in from the east, the normal direction of the wind, here is from the northeast. So the northeast to the wind, and I think it's more coming from the east today, because it's not, if it has been pushing from northeast to southwest, normally you would find a lot of deposits where we used to have a lot of the marijuana farmers. That area is totally covered now in volcanic ash, mountains of the stuff. So yes, folks, this is session number 3 of this eruption. It's well over an hour in progress. Session number 3, I came to a location where I have a better view of the hills itself, because I heard such heavy roar. I thought, well, maybe I could see something flowing down the edge of the mountain, but there's nothing visible. It's only still pumping out a lot of stuff, but low altitude, with almost immediate deposit. What this could result, this could actually, if we have heavy rains, I expect quite a lot of this material would cause ash flows, wet ash flows. I think it's lahar or something they call that. That might be one of the hazards that we'll be facing going forward, right up into the hurricane season. Whether this continues or not, the ash deposits are going to be there for a while until there's rain or heavy winds to push them away. It's awfully windy today, really windy, and that is not necessarily a bad thing. But from where I'm here, the wind feels as if it's coming more from the north. But the visuals I'm seeing from my position here is that the wind is coming from the east and pushing things over on the western side of the mountain. And this is really relentless. It's not giving up. It's still pumping in the background. I could see the clouds developing, and it's just rolling slowly into the Caribbean Sea. And as it disperses, it gets very fine. You can see it's almost like mist down here. But all of that is ash material. Most of it deposited on the mountain. Behind the white clouds there, you could still see the dark material coming out of the crater. It hasn't reduced substantially. It's still pushing. So yes, folks, for those of you just joining, this is my 3rd session of recording this eruption on Thursday, the 22nd of April, 2021. The eruption is very much in progress. You could still see the clouds, the volcanic clouds are rolling as more material continues to be pushed into the Caribbean Sea. Not a very high altitude eruption, as I said earlier, very, very low altitude. And that means that there's very little likelihood of this ash getting anywhere far from the volcano itself. But it doesn't mean that it is less. It's just that it's not as high altitude, and dispersion would be very low. I don't know if it's I'm getting accustomed to it or not, but I'm not smelling as much sulfur as in the earlier stages either. But again, it could be either that I'm getting accustomed to it, or that most of the material, most of the heavy gases are just falling along the southwestern side of the mountain. And I suspect that to be the case, because most of these gases are substantially heavier than air, and they tend to fall pretty quickly before, and maybe that is one of the reasons that you're seeing such, the dispersal is such that the upper end of the clouds are all quite white, because all of that stuff is dense material, and it's falling over the side of the mountain. I see a little bit more coming down the slopes now, so we'd expect some more deposits on the mountain side heading down to the Richmond area. That area is going to be under substantial amount of ash for the foreseeable future, and right up to probably Fitus would have quite a lot of ash fall on the ground. I cannot imagine what the air quality is like in the lower areas, in the valleys. I'm here up on the hill, and even here sometimes you have problem with the air quality. But down in the valleys, you could see the dust storms sometimes, and you wonder how could that be. I find that in the areas of Rosal, the air is still relatively good, because I'm here at about 300 meters altitude. Around up in the village is about 1,200 feet, 1,200 feet, which are about close to 370 meters altitude. And in these areas here, we don't, I think we're lucky, although it's very windy. The wind is not coming directly from the La Soufriere, because we are to the south of the La Soufriere, and the prevalent wind direction is from the northeast, so that pushes the stuff into the south, along the southwestern ridges of the crater. But yes, the eruption has been fierce. I think it's quieting down a little bit, but I don't know how these eruptions, these low altitude eruptions, seem to last a bit longer. They're probably less ferocious and not as powerful in the vertical force, but they tend to take a long time to simmer down. And this one is no different. That is the pattern of the low altitude eruptions. They tend to last for an hour and a half or longer. Extremely windy. I really need a better camera, but this was all impromptu. I really need a better phone to do this kind of work, but it is as it is. You're still being supplied with footage that is, I think, is usable and is being widely distributed. Again, for those who want to use the footage, non-exclusive right is granted, provided that the user acknowledges the source. So non-exclusive right. Nobody has full right to use this exclusively. Non-exclusive right is granted to news agencies to use the footage with acknowledgement of source. That's simple, because I get quite a lot of these requests while I'm doing the live, so I'd make that very clear. It's Thursday the 22nd of April 2021, and I'm recording a third session of an explosive eruption at the La Soufriere. A low altitude output, and of which most of the material seem to be deposited on the southwestern flank and into the Caribbean Sea. But the eruption is very much in progress. It's relentless in its operation this today, and I think this would probably last for the next could well be the next half an hour, 3/4 of an hour. Every now and again it dies down a little bit, and then it erupts again heavily. But that's the situation. I'm going to say goodbye for this live for now, and should there be any other developments in the course of the afternoon, I would be the first to be online and sharing with you the live experience of the 2021 La Soufriere eruption. For those of you who don't know, there's a group, Eruption 2021 La Soufriere, on Facebook. Feel free to join that group, because there's where we intend to publish all of this material, but also discuss the ramifications of this explosive eruption and the way forward. Looking at ways we could recover from this process, because this is going to be possibly going to be a drawn out eruption phase, and but we still have to work on the aftermath of this disaster. So that's it for session number 3. I'm going to sign out, and thank you for joining the live, and see you in a later live. Bye bye.